And it was right then and there that I was like, Michelle, welcome to Hollywood. Hi, I'm Michelle, in case you're new to my channel. Um, Today, I'm going to do a really chatty get ready with me. I'm going to do a full face of my current favorites. Okay, so I just want to throw on my face so I can get some stuff done. I've got to go run some errands. I've got to do some more filming. Today, I'm going to film my nail polishes I wore in February video. So I'm really excited about that. Are we in March? Yeah. Yeah. So nail polishes I wore in February. That's right. Let's get started. All right. First, it's really early in the morning. And I'm sorry for the poor lighting. It's a really gloomy day, so I'm sorry if the lighting is horrible. Once it gets to this point right here, like I'll do this once or twice while I'm about to go get my new bottle. But other than that, like I can't be bothered with this. Even though there's a lot of product in here, like I don't have time for this. Okay. But I really need my makeup. I really need my under makeup moisturizer first. Okay. I'm ready to go in with my... I did used to do commercials, so you'd think I'd be better at this, but it's different when you have a whole crew helping you on set, okay? I keep waiting for this thing to run out, and it just keeps going. This is the little sample that could. It just keeps going and going. Let's see if maybe this will run out. No, that was still a full, easy pump, and I feel like I won't be struggling the next time either. I'm shocked because I've been waiting to use my the like big one that I bought of it. It's actually going to be the first time that I bought a big one. I've been pretty much going on a year of like 3 little samples like that I've gotten from Sephora with purchases, and I love that. It's my favorite primer so far. I'll either go in with no primer on most days, or if I'm going to use a primer, I use a primer for blurring my pores and like any smile lines or anything else. Natasha Denona's formula, I feel like you don't really need an eye base for eyeshadows to perform well. And I don't even need an eye base today, so that's cool. I'm not going to go with an eye base at all, which is good because I need to go get some like new products. Okay, I believe my primers had enough time to sink in. So to start off, my makeup, as soon as I get my foundation going, I'm gonna get into today's story time, okay? And so for my favorite foundation, this is gonna shock you, because if you've seen my foundation declutter video and any of my hauls since then, you know, I've been going through some foundations in the last 2 years, checking things out, because, you know, as you get older and your skin changes, you just notice that products don't work for you as well as they used to. And so you start looking for something else, right? I have been through a lot of foundations. I even have a few more in the lineup to try that are brand new. I just picked up. If you caught my recent What's in My Bag, I showed what my newest foundation is in that video. If you missed it, it's on my channel if you want to check it out. I'm not going to link it here because, I mean, aside from showing you what's in my makeup bag in that bag, I don't really think it's makeup related. So anyway, what? Oh, this is my favorite foundation. This is shocking to me. Not because, it's not shocking to me that I love this, because I've been using it and I'm so blown away by this product. But what's shocking is that this is the brand of foundation that I'm reaching for again and again over a lot of my high-end foundations and my other previous drugstore favorites. So yeah, I have my first impressions of this. I'll leave that down below in the description box if you want to check that out. But essentially, this is my new go-to foundation for dressy events, for filming, for day wear, for a long time. Now, if I just want, like, I'll film in whatever I'm wearing. Even if I'm not wearing foundation, if I want to film, I'm going to film a video, okay? Like, I'm fine with it. But what I'm saying is there's filming foundations that are more like full coverage and better for like high def TV if you're actually trying to provide coverage. What am I getting at? Yeah, it doesn't matter what the situation is. This is the foundation that I prefer to wear. So I really like the price of it. If you want all the information, check out that video again. It'll be listed down below. I have had a couple of comments asking me to share some stories from some of my times on set. And I have been an actress. Now, there's a lot of people that are quote unquote actors, okay? And there's all kinds of different media that they call themselves actors within, okay? Some people do theater, some people do like web shows or whatever, you know, not specifically like YouTube, but like series on shows, you know, and like shorts. Some people do indie films, some people do just commercials, some people do, you know, whatever, okay? I only work on Hollywood connected sets, okay? That's my specific type of acting, okay? So I don't get involved with any independent directors or producers or projects, no like small time budgets. I did one indie low budget film. That was my dog fluffing in the air. I did one indie low budget film once, and you know, I liked the story is why I did it. And the people that were involved, a lot of them were like friends from other projects that I had met. And by other projects, I mean other sets where I was on Hollywood film sets. So these were some of their side projects. You know, they were more open to other types of projects that they would get involved in. So I thought I would give it a try. And I quickly learned that, yeah, I don't like low budget films. I don't like low budget films. I don't like indie films. I don't like anything that isn't connected to a big time Hollywood budget, okay, where they're like pitching to networks or different cable networks or, you know, whatever the case may be. So like HBO or TNT or even ABC, you know, mainstream networks. So that's the kind of acting that I do. All right. So even the commercials that I have been involved with were directed or produced or cast by, that was my dog, my Shih Tzu. The projects that I've been involved in were either directed, produced, or cast by the Hollywood connections that were straight from Hollywood, but working on location. So none of these projects were filmed in Hollywood, but Hollywood basically came to me, is what that was like. 1 second, let me wipe the hair. Like, let me just make sure that I have no foundation in my hair, because I don't want any of my fresh growing gray hairs to look beige. I want them to look white, for sure, for sure. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so speaking of, I have been missing my gray hairs that had started growing out. Look at that. Look at all that makeup that came out of my hairline. Okay. All right. That was just my hair. Anyway, I've been missing my gray hairs, so I'm really happy to see them starting to grow back. And also because my hair is very thin and I'm looking forward to having a full head of hair again, which leads me to today's stories from set. That's what I'm going to call this series, okay? I'm starting a new series on my channel. Today is the first of a new series on my channel, brought to you by popular request from a beautiful friend that I met here on YouTube. And yeah, I just want to say, hold on, I have a dog fluffing in the air that landed on my makeup because I haven't set my face yet. All right. Yeah, so thank you so much for that request. Anyway, let me get on with today's story from set. While I use a full face of nothing but favorites, okay? So I'm going to get started putting on the rest of my face. Let me get the lighting a little bit closer. I'm going to put on the rest of my makeup while we get into some funny stories. I'm not going to focus too much on any of the makeup, but I am going to show you what I'm using. And I'll have everything listed down below in the description box, like not with links or whatever, but like just listed. So if you have any questions about what it is that I'm using, you can check it out down below. But anyways, I'm gonna go with some concealer today, and here is my concealer. You can see I'm making some good progress. Yeah, so let me tell you about my very first time at a casting call. Okay, let me put it that way. This was my first casting call that I ever went to. I'm just giving my concealer a moment to sit down while I talk to you. But this was the first casting call that I had ever gone to. And it was before, okay, I had been wanting to get involved in acting because I had a family friend who was in a major TV show that was on the air for 10 years. So because of that, I had some connections to get my foot in the door, okay? So I had been wanting to do some projects because this family friend would call me and say, hey, we need someone like you. So-and-so didn't show up and I need to get someone to come in like right now. Can you show up here at such and such in 30 minutes? I'm like, no, sorry, I can't, because at the time I was working at a law firm. Yeah. So like my boss wouldn't let me off work. And this was long before I had a college degree. So like I was very low man on the totem pole, and I couldn't get off work to go try to follow my Hollywood dreams. So when I got let go of when I was pregnant with my last child, obviously I was heartbroken because I thought I was going to go out on maternity leave for that law firm and return in like 3 months. Okay. And instead, when I put in my request to go in on maternity leave, they denied it and instead laid me off. I was just like, wow, thanks. Okay. So of course I was a little heartbroken. My dog. Of course, I was a little heartbroken, and I decided that one thing that was positive that could come out of me getting let go of was now I was free to go on any last minute calls when they needed a fill-in for anything, And so I called my friend and I was like, hey, I thank you so much for thinking of me all those times that you needed somebody to fill in a pinch. And I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to help. I really wanted to go and be a part of whatever project it is you were calling me about each time, okay? But I was working for he was a bit of a jerk of a boss, okay? I could go into some stories, but I won't. I have a lot of respect for him also. So, I don't want to like trash his name or anything, but he was quite a jerk. Anyway, I learned a lot from him and I thank him. I mean, I credit basically everything he taught me for like 85% of my paralegal career that I was able to carve out for myself. 85% of that came from him. The last 15% came from my college degree. Back to my acting jobs right now. Not law firm life helped pay the bills. Acting was my heart. Okay, so a lot of actors will do like waitressing jobs or whatever when they're trying to pay the bills while they're in between gigs or looking for work, or also getting work but not getting paid enough for that work yet. Okay. Because, you don't really get paid anything until you make it big. So anyway, instead of being like a struggling waitress or whatever, I was a paralegal because, legal assistant. I was a legal assistant at the time, not a paralegal, because I needed to make some money and I was trying to work my way into a career, because I had kids. I called my friend up and was like, hey, I no longer work for that law firm. So anytime you need me, I'm free. Okay. As a matter of fact, don't just think of me for times when someone doesn't show and you need a fill in. Think of me firsthand for any particular projects that might arise. And so my friend was like, cool. I've always got stuff coming up where I need someone just like you to fit the casting call. And I'm like, great. That's great. I'll be waiting for your call. So I had just gotten married. I was a new wife. So I was also planning on now staying home with the baby because I got laid off. My husband was like, you know, hey, this is good timing, because I was really sad about it. But he was like, hey, this is good timing because now you can just stay home with the baby instead of not. And so I was like, yeah, I guess, you know, but I was, you know, trying to forge my career and stuff. So I was sad about it. But anyway, I was like, all right, that's cool. I did always want to stay home with my babies. So I was like, all right, I'm going to stay home with the baby then. That's what we'll do. And I was like, cool, you know. So that's what I did. And I told my friend I'm available now, you know, and I can go anytime because my husband didn't work that much at the time. He worked kind of on call, and so he didn't work all the time. So anyways, he could stay home with the baby. He was home with me a lot of the time. While I was waiting for that call to come in, I thought I'd go ahead and take advantage of my time and opportunity and see if I could get myself into any kind of gig of, you know, of any caliber. And so I started looking for casting calls. I don't recommend this. Okay. I mean, like, unless this casting calls type of atmosphere is what you're looking for, you know, then that's up to you. But I don't recommend you going to cattle call casting calls if you're hoping to be an actor. That ain't it, sis. Okay. So let me tell you. Anyway, my first time to walk in on a cattle call casting call while I was waiting to be like summoned from my friend, okay? And I thought I'd take a casting call and see what I could get done. And I went on this call. It was an early call. Oh man. Like, in order to have my hair ready and everything, like blow dried and curled so that it wouldn't look too puffy, because we were going to be outside for the majority of the casting call. And it's really humid in Texas. Don't know if you know that, but it is, unless you're like in the desert plains. So I got up super early because it was like it was early, man. It was like a 6 a.m. casting call. It was still dark when I arrived. I was like, oh man. I show up in this parking lot where the address says to arrive, and there's a table where people are being checked in by someone with a clipboard and a list, okay? And they're scratching your name on and off the list, okay? And then if you're not on the list, they're like, well, what are you doing here? Kind of thing to people, okay? And there's like a long line. They have it broken down by letter of the alphabet. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. It's still really early, and I'm pretty sure this was before I was a coffee drinker and wasn't drinking coffee because, of course, I was breastfeeding my baby. And my baby don't eat coffee, you know. I was being very cognizant. Like, I usually am really aware of what I eat, but in the last recent years, I've gotten a little lax about it. I've suffered for that too. But anyway, so at the time I was making really amazing, like, healthy choices, okay? And I was not drinking any coffee. So it's really early in the morning and I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go, what's going on, etc., etc. So I'm standing in line where I think I'm about to get checked in. This woman starts, like, I see this, like, I'm looking around, you know, because there's like all kinds of people everywhere. People are walking behind you, walking in front of you, hollering people's names out and all kinds of stuff. Like, you know, it was a lot of commotion for 6 a.m. in the morning, okay? Let me just say. As I'm standing there looking around at the crowd, in line to check in to this cattle call, this woman, I'm going to say now in hindsight that she had been trying to become an actress for a long time. Okay. She looked like maybe at one point she was an actress, like a well-known actress, and had fallen down on her luck and was trying to revive her career or something like that. She had on like she looked different than everybody else. This woman, she's wearing like a leather vest, like a brown leather vest. It's kind of long. She's got on some like knit bell-bottom type pants or something, and she had on gobs of makeup and huge gaudy rings and like really big fake nails and like really bold lipstick on, and she was carrying files in her hand, and you could see photos of her in that pile. Okay, so it looked like she had a bunch of her headshots there. She looked like she meant business. Okay, so anyways, I was just like, oh, she looks experienced. That's what I thought. The second I saw her, I was like, she looks experienced. I feel like she knows what's happening here. And I, on the other hand, looked like a deer in the headlights. I had no idea what I was doing or where to go, or where to be, or what to expect. So, favorite. I was not experienced. I looked not experienced at all. And maybe that's why she walked over to me in the way that she did. But she like locked eyes with me as I was looking across the way. And when she locked eyes with me, she just started gunning for me. Okay, she starts walking towards me. And I'm like, I'm looking around like, is she coming at me? Is there someone standing behind me? Is she looking at me? You know, because I was like, who is this woman? I don't know who she is. And she's looking at me like she knows me. She's coming to talk to me. And I was like, what's happening here? So I just stood there and I thought, hold on, let me do my mouth. This is my MAC Stone. My MAC lip liner in Stone. Love this shade for me. Looks like the color of my lip line, basically. Anyway, so this woman walks up to me. I thought she was going to pull me out of the line and tell me that I needed to be somewhere else. That's what I thought. Like, I thought maybe she worked there or something, or maybe she was like in charge of casting or something, you know, like I didn't think maybe specifically she was an actress, because you know, why would an actress, like a real actress, be at 6 a.m. at a cattle call? You know what I mean? It just didn't make any sense. Okay. She starts walking over to me. She's making a beeline for me, okay? This is not actually the Natasha Denona gold palette. It is mostly the gold palette. And I actually have the key to this on my Instagram, in my stories, my makeup Instagram, if you're interested in finding out which specific shades and what palettes these are. But I'm going to go in with my favorite palette that I created from Natasha Denona that I call my brown matte palette. It's got a couple of satins in it, but it's my brown matte palette. Anyway, so I think I even have like one actual shimmer. And as you can see, I haven't even touched it. Usually when I'm going for this, I don't want anything sparkly. I might need to pull that one out. That's from the original gold shade, but I'm gonna leave that there for now. Anyway. And I don't have a favorite eye primer in my stash right now. I'm out. I'm gonna have to go buy one. So I'm not gonna go in with an eye primer. And that's why I'm using this palette, is because I know that I can use the Natasha Denona mattes, like just on my eye skin, and it'll look fine. All right, so anyway, so she comes over to me. She doesn't say one word, okay? She just beelines right for me, looking at me with like these files in her hand and like photographs, which in hindsight, like after I saw what happened and I got a closer look at them, I saw that they were her headshots, but I thought they were just random people's headshots because I was at a casting call, you know? I thought they were just looking, I don't know, I thought they were looking for maybe somebody special in the line or something. I don't even know, because she was just gunning for me and I didn't know what was happening. It was my first time at one of these things ever. And so she walks straight over to me. She did not say anything to me. She just put her files under her arm like that. She reached her hand up and she just started, let me take this down. Let me show you what she did. She put her files in her freaking arm and she just started like going like this in my hair. Okay. She started going like this in my hair. And I was like, what are you doing? I pushed her back because at this point she's touching me. Okay. Like she caught me so off guard. I was like, what are you doing? I pushed her off of me and I had no idea why she was rifling through my head. I just looked at her like this all happened so fast. Okay. I was so naive at the time. I had no clue what she was doing. When I pushed her back, I just said to her, I was like, I don't have lice. What are you looking for? And she just like, was like, and like walked off. And I had no idea what had just happened to me. I felt violated. I felt assaulted. I felt confused. I was like, what the heck just happened? And I literally said that. And the person that was standing next to me, who did nothing, by the way, did nothing to help me in the moment. Of course, it all happened so fast. Like, I don't think anybody expected this. Anyways, as she stormed off and I was like, what the heck just happened? What was that all about? The girl standing next to me in the line says to me, she goes, I think she was looking for clip-ins. I was like, for what? Say that again. She said, for clip-ins. I was like, what is a clip-in? What's a clip-in? She said to me, she goes, fake hair. I was like, oh. I was like, no, I don't have any fake hair. Now, keep in mind, it's hard to imagine right now by looking at my head that anybody would ever think that I have fake hair on my head. I don't, very obviously. But at this time, okay, I hadn't gone through my adrenal failure and lost all my hair. So, you want your coat off, baby? Come here. Coat off. Come here, coat off. Hold on. Good girl. There you go. There you go. Okay. And I hadn't yet lost all my hair. So like this is me after many years of hair loss. Okay. So you can see of thin hair. Like it's before I got so ill, it is growing back. Like you can see I have a lot of baby hairs and it's slowly starting to thicken up, which is why I have a lot of flyaways and stuff right now. But, you know, I don't put chemicals, like I don't put stuff in my hair to try to tame that down. I don't use dry shampoo. I don't use mousse. I don't use gel. I don't use hairspray. I don't use like things like that. I don't put gunk in my hair. So I'm just trying to let my hair grow its best life. But at the time, okay, before I had lost the majority of my hair, I looked like a lion. I looked kind of like, well, who was known for hair like that? I looked a little bit like Shaka Khan and Tina Turner, but with my texture of hair instead of their texture of hair. But the volume of my hair looked like that, okay? I had so much hair. I had so much hair that my entire life, when I was getting anything done, I would typically be charged an additional $150 for thick, long hair. That was the thick, long hair fee in addition to anything else I had going on, okay? So if I was getting a $30 haircut at some place, it'd be $180. If I was getting $100 hair services, it'd be $250, okay? Because I had so much hair that literally it would take two people 3 to 4 hours to work through all my hair. Back when I used to get highlights, it would take a team of people to go through row by row and do the highlights, okay? Well, I had 2 people doing each half at the same time. I had formerly been a hair model. Anyway, so my hair was super, super thick, and this woman had literally walked up to me and rifled her hands through my head looking for fake hair on me because my hair was so thick. And so I was like, okay, well then if she was looking for fake hair, why did she get so mad at me, like, and walk off? And the girl says to me, the girl that was telling me what this chick's problem was, what this lady's problem was with me, she says to me, she goes, I think she's just jealous. She goes, because she's obviously wearing a lot of fake hair and you're not. I was like, oh. And it was right then and there that I was like, Michelle, welcome to Hollywood. Oh my God. Yeah. So needless to say, Hollywood, I've made a lot of great friends. Great. In this instance, I'm using the term great very loosely. Okay. But I've made a lot of friends from the industry in the years that I've been working on sets. And one thing that I have definitely come to notice is that it takes a particular breed of person to really want to work on a set because unless you're like one of the people that is one of the few people on the project that is like actually getting paid somewhat close to your value, okay? Unless you're one of them, which not very many people involved in projects are one of them, let me just tell you. Unless you're one of them, you're really there like doing all the hard work and labor bringing together this TV show or film or commercial, you know, whatever the case may be. You're doing a whole lot of heavy lifting for not much reward. Okay, the reward is the experience itself, essentially. And so it takes a certain kind of person to really be in that kind of a hardcore environment without getting paid for it, and to still be putting out your best. Okay, so it's a cast of characters, that's for sure, that's always involved. Okay, whether you make it on the actual cast of the show or not, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a cast of characters. And it takes all kinds, okay? Everybody's role is important. That's one thing. Okay, sorry. But one thing that I have learned about being in Hollywood is there's a lot. Hold on. Do I even have something that I can do my lower lash line with? Oh my God. I don't. I have absolutely nothing. I'm going to have to do some like, that's too thick. Okay, I'm gonna have to use a dirty brush. I did scrape it off on my color switch. Anyway, yeah, so what I'm getting at though is that you come across all walks of life on a set, okay? Because some people are crew and some people are talent. Now, the talent is the ones that I'm talking about specifically. Usually the talent, which means the actors, usually the talent is made up of really weird people. And I use the term weird endearingly, okay? Like kind of loosely. Actors in general are a weird bunch. Okay, I mean, you have to be, if you really think about the dynamics of what it takes to even be an actor, you have to be really weird to be willing to like live your life like that. Okay, and not weird necessarily like in a bad way, but you have to be open to the weirdness at the very least. Okay, because to drop everything and be called for a project and you don't know how long you're going to be gone and you don't know if you're going to have food all day and you know that you can't leave until it's over, you know you're probably looking at minimum 10-hour shift, maybe 12 to 16 hours. Easy, okay? you're not making a per hour rate. You're making a very, 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 very small per day pay rate. If you're lucky, if you're careful about what kind of projects you pick, okay? So and if you don't have an agent, okay? I didn't have an agent. I don't like commitment. I'm not signing up with no damn agent. Anyway, so all this to say, all right, there's a lot of crazy kind of people on these sets, and she was definitely one of them. She was not anybody of power of any kind. So if I would have known better, if I hadn't have been so green, and if this literally hadn't been like, I'm a deer in the headlights moment, and then she happened to just walk up to me during that time, taking advantage of the fact that I'm a deer in the headlights, not knowing what's going on. If that hadn't have been happening, she never would have had the opportunity to touch me like that, okay? Like, I don't like people touching me. If you get to touch me, you feel special. Very special, okay? Like, people don't get to touch me, okay? My energy is sacred, and I don't go allowing just anybody to touch it, all right? I don't let people bump into me in public, okay? I make sure to, like, stave people off with my bag. That's why I like big bags in public. And I don't, like, go get my nails done. I don't get massages. I don't let people touch me, okay? Keep off. I don't, like, randomly hug people. Anyway, so I was, like, floored when this woman just straight up, I'm going to take this gold shade, which I haven't really done very much of before, but I'm going to put it here in the front. When this woman just straight up, like, rifled her hands through my hair at 6:30 in the morning in the middle of a parking lot at a cattle call. And I was just like, okay, Michelle, welcome to Hollywood. You need to buck up, kid. Okay? F this being polite, trying to be courteous and, like, not wanting to step on anybody's toes. Like, no, girl, I had to buck up my wall and be careful and weary of people around me so that bad things wouldn't happen to me on set. Because ain't nobody out there looking out for you, that's for sure. You gotta look out for yourself. Yeah, that was my very first time on a casting call and my very last time. Yeah. Oh. That was my absolute last time, okay? That's not for me. I don't do that cattle call crap, okay? I got better things to do with my time than stand out there like that. Now, no judgment to anybody that goes to them, okay? It's just because I know I have a family connection, like not like a family, but like a family friend, like a distant family friend type thing, you know? Because I know that I have that, I'm not going to be out there subjecting myself to cattle calls early in the morning like that. Like, there's just no need for it. So, yeah. And, like, to weird people that are all just hoping for a prayer and a clue to even be seen or noticed. And, like, yeah. So that was my first and only and last time, my first and only time on a cattle call casting call. And I do not recommend anybody go to them if you're actually trying to, like, get involved in the business, okay? I recommend you avoid all of those, like, scammy, scummy type of situations completely. And instead, just be a little bit more protective of your time and energy and exposure, because you can get sucked into some ugly places with people that you don't know who they are. And it's just because they're taking advantage of the fact that you're hoping to, like, make something of yourself. And, you know, some people will put themselves in all kinds of situations that they wouldn't normally otherwise be in if it hadn't been for that, like, pipe dream that they've got, you know? So, And I don't mean pipe dream in a derogatory manner, like as if it's never going to happen. I'm just saying, you know, like these kinds of things are pipe dreams. Anyway, so yeah, that was my first time on a cattle call, casting call, and my only time actually. Never went back. And I've actually only ever done like 2 auditions. I've never been called back for an audition. I don't audition well. I get really, really nervous. I get really, really nervous, and none of my talent shines at that time. I'm also one of those that would get really, really nervous during tests. Okay, here's my favorite eyeliner of all time. My favorite liquid liner of all time is the KVD tattoo liner. Whether you like brown or black, I like both. The KVD tattoo liner is my absolute favorite liner. Okay, I'm going to create a wing really quick so I can't keep talking, but I'm going to close out the look. So let me put on my favorite eyeliners really quick, and then I'll continue on with another tidbit of advice for pitfalls to avoid. I'm not going to do too drastic of a wing, just like a little baby wing. Because like I've got to go and talk to people about some business and stuff today, and walking up in a Slipknot shirt I feel like is shocking enough. I don't need to also end up with like Amy Winehouse wings, like sometimes happens to me when I'm just trying to do a small wing and then all of a sudden it gets out of control. That's why I try not to say I'm gonna do just a little wing until after I've done it, because usually right when I say I'm gonna do a little wing, I end up messing up, and then like I jinxed myself, you know, and then I end up having to do like a giant wing. Like we're starting to head there now. Let me stop talking so I can get this done. All right, and it's also because I don't have my enlarged mirror in front of me, so I'm literally just going blindly over here, like on a far view. Which for my wings, I like to do a close-up view. Oh my God, they just keep getting bigger and bigger. Did you see that? See, I said I was gonna do just a baby wing, and now we ended up here, like in a midway point. So it's fine, I'm gonna rock it. I mean, I like all wings. I don't really care how big they are. Okay. I'm gonna go in with my favorite mascara. This is my favorite mascara so far. There's like a half dozen super high-end luxurious mascaras that I want to try this year that I haven't tried yet. But so far, of the like 40 different mascaras that I've tried, not just good for the price, but good. Now, it doesn't flake on me. Maybe if other people layer it up, like after one coat is dry, that's probably what causes flaking. This is a brand new package. I missed it and I needed to get it. So anyways, yeah, if you layer it up, I feel like it's not as good. But like if you go in after it's dry, then maybe you'll have flaking issues. But that's just kind of like true with all mascaras in my opinion. Anyways, another thing that you want to avoid on set, like pitfalls on set, or like casting calls. Another thing you want to avoid besides casting calls is like anybody that charges you a fee, any kind of a fee, whether it be, oh, we just need reimbursement for this or that, it'll be a nominal fee and you'll get all kinds of benefits for it, or whatever the heck may be, whatever it is that they're promising. It costs you nothing to go and shoot for the stars, okay? Other than like the cost of what you're wearing to get there, your headshots if you take any, but like I never had headshots. I've acted for 15 years and almost ended up written into without headshots. If we would have had a 4th season, I was going to be in the 4th season. I was going to be an actual full-blown cast member with a character created specifically to include me. And then the network, of course, dropped the show and went with something else, and we were all devastated. But it was because Had passed a few months prior. And I mean, it wasn't completely unexpected, but it was unexpected that the show wouldn't go on without him. We thought we would, you know, we thought we could like drag it along, but it just didn't. It didn't get called for a 4th season. So with that Hollywood opportunity for me at that time. But yeah, anyways, yeah, no, this actually is my favorite. It just takes a couple of layers, but I put them on while they're wet, not while they're dry. And so this, oh, one more thing, forgot to include another favorite highlighters from here too. So I think it's safe to say that I'm a huge fan of Hourglass powders, and I kind of regret holding out on them for so long. But I am so glad that they came out with this limited edition packaging so that I would finally be like, oh, let me try their palettes out. Because I'm sorry, but I was just not into the plain brown. Okay, I was like that with Louis Vuitton too. Like, I did not like the plain brown bags until after I got obsessed with it. You know, like at first I needed all the colorful beauties before I could even like the brown monogram at all. But now I love it. Anyway, I mean, I'm kind of over it by now, but I mean, I do have an appreciation for the monogram. I no longer think it's ugly is what I'm saying. Anyhow, back to the palette. Yeah, so this palette has quickly become a favorite for, I love the Hourglass bronzer because it's very neutral but effective without being overpowering for me. We'll see how it works for me in the summer because I do turn more cool tone, but I think that because this is more neutral and less warm, it will work for me still in the summer because I'm currently a little warm still in my complexion. And I have found that I really like these powders. I prefer the white one as opposed to the yellow, but I'm trying to make use of the yellow like under my eyes for some brightening. I really, really love this highlighter that's in here, and I like the blushes, but I wouldn't mind having an entire blush palette with a variety of other shades because I feel like 2 pinks is just too limiting. I would have appreciated either a coral or like a berry. That's just me. So now I'm really excited to try other Hourglass products in the future, but not until I get some good use out of this one and like really work my way through it. So, all right, is there anything else that I'm missing to complete my full face? No. So this is it. This is my full face of current makeup faves. Let me know what you think of the look. I like it. I think it turned out really, really nice. That this look would look really nice with a red lip and to match my red nails. But yeah, so now that my makeup's done, I'm going to film my nail polishes I wore in February videos. So thanks so much for hanging out with me, getting ready for the day. I hope you enjoyed this story time from set. I know it was really chatty and a little all over the place, but if you're not new to my channel, that's what you've probably come to expect. So yeah, I just want to say thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of the look that I created or any of these products that I used. If you have any questions or anything like that about any of the makeup or shades or anything like that, if I forget to list anything, don't forget to check down below in the description box for additional content and information about the products I use. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you click the thumbs up. It really does help my channel out so much. And make sure you're subscribed so we can hang out again. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.